How's it going, guys? I'm your host, Splash. Welcome to my team of week 2. Before we start, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. I know the Ravens haven't rung their Le'Veon bell, but you sure can ring that notification bell. And since this is a team of the week, make sure you drop a comment if you think I missed a player, if you think one of my players is a bum, if you think someone else deserved it. Drop it in the comments, and let's get it started with our quarterback, Mr. Thomas Edward Brady. What a game. What a game. I know you're playing a bad defense, but this isn't a projection. This is what happened on the field. And Brady was unreal again. 5 touchdowns against Atlanta. The 9th straight game, Tampa Bay has scored at least 30 offensive points, which is an NFL record. That is insane. And he naturally broke his own record. He did it with 8 with the Patriots 2 different times. And boom, boom, boom. He has 9 in a row here. Again, 5 touchdowns. Pretty efficient day at the office, a 129 passer rating, and another good showing from PFF. And one thing I want to point out, big-time throws, turnover-worthy plays. 5 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays. So far, he has 8 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays. And yes, folks, Tom Brady would be my MVP if the season ended today, which by proxy gives him the All-Pro nod at quarterback, and by proxy, he's a Pro Bowler in the NFC. And that's what the voting is up in the right. And the left is going to be if guys are recurring. So let's say in 3 weeks, Brady has another awesome game and he's a quarterback again. He'll be week 2 up there. So there's the lay of the land. Let's move on to running back. Derrick Henry, the king, is back. Tractor Cito is back. But it's a little bit different. You see the gaudy yardage. I get it. 35 carries, $182, 3 touchdowns. I will say he didn't have the most efficient game rushing. It got boosted at the end with a 60-yard touchdown. But one thing I want you to keep an eye on, 6 catches, 55 yards. And you go over to the right, 2 contested catch targets, 2 contested catches. Yes, Derrick Henry, ladies and gentlemen, he is catching passes. He is making things happen in the receiving game. Are we going to see a new evolution of Derrick Henry? This is crazy. He, of course, had 182 yards rushing, and that can't be overstated. And he was a big reason why Tennessee executed a 2-score comeback in Seattle. So big time stuff. The first time I think that's ever happened that they've led by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and blown it at Lumen Field. But whoo boy, he is popping. 85 PFF grade this week. Forced 4 missed tackles as a runner. Didn't force any as a receiver, but we will crawl before we walk and then walk before we run. What a day for Derrick Henry. And yes, he is the leader in the clubhouse for all-pro spot at the running back position. He is on pace for a lot of yardage. I can't do the math in my head, but yeah, he is on pace for, he could approach 2,000 yards again. I wouldn't be shocked. Moving on, we got a trio of wide receivers, starting with Cooper Kupp. The Stafford to Kupp connection has been unreal through 2 weeks. So Kupp would earn my number 1 all-pro spot, a 91.4 PFF overall grade, a 90 receiving grade. Didn't have a contested catch, but he didn't make 2 dudes miss. 9 catches, $163, and 2 tutties. Big stuff. No drops. That's important too. No drops. Big week for Kupp. Big week for the Rams. They did get the W over the Clots, 27-24. Kupp would be an all-pro for me and a Pro Bowl selection. So he's been off to a rockin' start. Wide receiver 2, going up to Denver, Courtland Sutton, dunked all over the Jags last Sunday. 9 catches, $159. Didn't score, didn't have a drop. He was tied with Kupp as the highest PFF receiving grade. I may have made a typo there. And the overall grade, 90.6. Rocking. He was 2 for 4 on contested catches. That's what you get from Sutton. You get a big play guy, can make plays downfield, use his body. He is unreal, and I'm so glad he's healthy. Didn't force any missed tackles, but hey, you're not going to have guys that, most of the time, you're not going to have guys that have like several contested catches and a bunch of missed tackles forced. But hey, it happens. He's not on my all-pro team yet. There's a couple guys I would take just a little bit ahead of him. I posted them on the U Stadium app yesterday, but Pro Bowl selection for sure. And we got another all-pro here, another NFC West wide receiver, Tyler Lockett. He got deep on another touchdown, 8 catches, $178, and a touchdown. That huge touchdown over the Tennessee defense. He didn't have the greatest game by PFF, 78-8 overall, 80.6 receiving, 0 for 1 on contested catches, and just 1 missed tackle forced. But here let me lay out what I'm going to do. PFF grade's cool. I'm going to use it for some things, right? Offensive line, cool. Pressures, cool. Coverage grade, cool. But if you go out there and you're actually making the plays, right, I got to give it to you. And if you go out there and you don't allow pressure as an offensive lineman, or you have a huge win rate, whatever it may be, I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to look at what my eyes see. And if PFF disagrees, cool. There's some guys on this list that are going to have a sub 60 PFF grade. I'm okay with that because they went out and balled. They made big plays. Tyler Lockett made big plays, 178 touchdown. Let's move on to the tight end. I mean, none other than Travis Kelce. Yes, he would be my All-Pro, Pro Bowl, AFC Pro Bowler. 7 catches, $109 touchdown against the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. 91.4 overall grade, 90 receiving grade. 4 missed tackles forced. He had 1 gnarly run that he crossed, and it felt like he juked out the entire state of Maryland. Not even the city of Baltimore, not even the whole team, the entire state of Maryland and everyone and all of its inhabitants in the history of the universe. Travis Kelce was unreal yet again, and I'm going to predict that previous mark. I can actually circle it. That previous mark, yeah, he's just going to make like 10 of these probably. Moving on, left tackle Jordan Mailata. I know this is going to get some hate on the app because a certain 49ers fan didn't think Mailata was very good, but the stats speak for themselves. 0 pressures allowed, 0 hurries allowed, 0 hits allowed, 0 sacks allowed, 91.2 overall grade. Good in pass protection, not elite. I see there was one clip, there was that Bosa seemingly got a pressure on Milada. I think they assigned that pressure to someone else, and they assigned the sack to someone else on the offensive line. So you're not going to have a 90 PFF pass blocking grade, but 83.7 is good because you realize how freaking good Nick Bosa is. And then 91.6 run blocking grade, he was great. Left guard, we're staying with the Eagles, as crazy as it seems. Seumalo, I think that pressure that Bosa had on the very specific play might be attributed to Seumalo. As a hurry, 85.3 overall grade, 82.9 pass pro, 80.6 run blocking. He was paving the way. I know the Eagles lost, but they had a good offensive line performance, and it's tough to do that against San Francisco. So good on the Eagles there. They get 2 guys on the offensive line. Bradley frickin' Bozeman. I read someone over the offseason had him on their breakout candidates list and how moving him from left guard to center was going to be like unleash Bozeman. I'm like, okay. He had a passable week 1. He wasn't Villanueva. He wasn't Stanley. Then he came out and had a really rock-solid performance in the middle of that Baltimore offensive line. No pressures, no hurries, no hits, no sacks, no nothing. 76.4 overall grade, 77.9 pass blocking grade, 73.9 run blocking grade. Just steady, run-of-the-mill, no screwed-up snaps. He was great. And if he does this week in and week out, Baltimore's going to have a top center in the league. So big props to Bozeman on the interior. Moving on, Zack Martin has played 1 game, and I am quite certain he will be the All-Pro this season. That's just how well he played. He did allow a pressure. He allowed Dak to get hit, and he had a 73.8 pass blocking grade. I don't care. The run blocking grade is back. The 94 run blocking grade, at a certain point, it doesn't matter what you do in pass pro as long as you're not Villanueva week 1. Just unreal. Just devastating. The things Martin does on the football field, the things he was doing to he had some really good reps against Artillery and had some just – he is a menace. We all know he's a menace. He's going to go back to the All-Pro team this year. Right tackle, we got a rookie, Samuel Cosmi. He had a pretty bad week 1 in pass pro. He stepped it up in a big way week 2 against the Giants. 0 pressures allowed, a 77.9 pass blocking grade, an 82.5 run blocking grade, paving the way for Antonio Gibson. 77.1 overall grade. Very, very strong from the rookie. You'd love to see it. To me, in my head, if you just swap the Jamin Davis and Cosmi picks, it's an awesome draft for Washington. They got incredible value on Cosmi. I thought they should have taken him at 19. They get him at 51. Just an unreal pick, and it's paying dividends. I know he wasn't great in week 1, but the run blocking is there. Pass protection is going to come and go, but he was great week 2. Moving on to the defense, we are staying with the Washington football team. Ignore Jonathan Allen's helmet. Allen forced 6 pressures, 3 QB hits, 2 sacks, 6 total fumbles, 6 total tackles, and 3 TFLs. 82.4 overall grade, 59.7 run defense grade, not great. I get it, but 89 pass rushing grade, that's what I'm going to care about. If you have 6 pressures, you're probably going to make the team unless there's some extenuating circumstance. 72.3 tackling grade, and he didn't have any coverage snaps. Jonathan Allen is a beast, and this Washington defensive line, when they get cooking, they can start racking up the W's. They're 1-1. They have a tough game against Buffalo this week, but if that offense or if that defensive line gets popping, who knows? Let's move on to. Do I need to say more? I probably could have put in Defensive Player of the Year as well. 7 tackles, 1 TFL, 3 QB hits, 8 pressures, 92 PFF grade. This is maybe not every snap, but in some part against Quentin Nelson. 79 run defense grade, 72.7 tackling, 91.3 pass rush. The things Aaron Donald does on a football field is simply unfair. I do hope he gets his 4th Defensive Player of the Year. That'd be pretty cool for that artifact. We have the edge of the room. That is Micah Parsons, who is technically a linebacker, but I don't care because he played edge this week because DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory were out. Who cares? He played defensive end. He's going to be my edge this week. 8 pressures, 1 sack, 4 QB hits, 2 solo tackles, 1 TFL. He had an 89.9 PFF overall grade, 69.8 in run defense. That's solid. 72 tackling, 90.8 pass rush. This is scary. And it's not even with Parsons and the guy I'm going to get to next. It's not about the moves. It's not about the like Azeez Ojulari had like one like a chop, I think, like a move that he always did at Georgia and it always worked. Parsons and the guy that I'm going to talk about next are not refined at all, but they can still do NFL things, real impactful NFL things, because they are so ridiculously athletic. Parsons is that dude. His first game as an edge rusher in the NFL, 8 pressures. And for the sake of this, I would count him as an all-pro linebacker, not an all-pro edge, but all-pro linebacker. He's making the all-pro team. As of right now, as of week 2, Odafe, Oweh, edge number 2, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 QB hit, 1 TFL, 3 pressures. Now, I buried the lead a little bit here. See that ball in his hands? Guess how much time's on the clock? There's about a minute left, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Yeah. That forced fumble, huge. That's a game-changing fumble caused by Oweh. What a player. He wreaked havoc all day. He was the main cause in both turnovers by the Chiefs. He got pressure. One of his 3 pressures was on Mahomes when Mahomes threw an interception, and he got the fumble recovery in the dying minutes. 86.3 PFF grade, 85.3 run defense grade. I could tell you heading into the league, he was going to be an awesome run defender from day one, and he has been. A 73.9 tackling grade, a 68.6 pass rush grade, 61.9 in coverage. Odafe, Oweh, remember the name. Linebacker 1, Nick Vigil, the PFF grade. I know it's not great, but if you have a pick 6, if you pick 6 Kyler Murray like you did, props to you. 8 total tackles, got the 1 pass defense, which was the pick 6. 67 overall PFF grade, 29.7 run defense. Yeah, it's hard to defend the run against the Cardinals. 31.5 tackling when you miss tackles. A 53.1 pass rush grade. Okay. And an 86.2 coverage grade. Cool. Congratulations. I don't know if you had the best week ever by a linebacker, but having a pick 6, I think you deserve to be here on that Trey Greenlaw rule Greenlaw was on my team last week. Roquan Smith. Now he had an all-around game for the ages. 1 pass defense, pick 6, had a sack, had a TFL, and had 8 total tackles, a 90 PFF grade, 46.9 in the run, 80.8 tackling, 71.6 in pass rush, and a 91.9 coverage grade. He was a menace. He had a beautiful pick 6 on Joe Burrow. Unreal player, and I'm so happy that he is, balling out like he should be. Cornerback 1, staying with the Chicago Bears, Jalen Johnson. I believe he's the number 1 graded in coverage by PFF overall for the whole season, not just this week. 4 pass defenses, 1 pick, 2 solo tackles, and he had this nice pick against Higgins here. 92.2 overall grade, 64.9 run defense, 75.4 tackling. Pass rush, who cares? 92.3 in coverage, unreal. And we're going to stick with the Jalen theme with Jalen Ramsey, CB1, 1 pass defense. It was an interception, 3 3 total tackles, 1 solo. And then the PFF grades speak for themselves. 87.7 overall, 65.5 run defense, 76.4 tackling, 59 pass rush. Again, who cares? He's a corner. And 90 in coverage. Jalen's back. Jalen has been playing with a fire. You watched it against Chicago that he's up making tackles. He's up making Darnell Mooney look like a clown. And then here he's making Carson Wentz look like a clown. And he's unreal. Jalen Ramsey's unreal, and he should be in the lead for the All-Pro spot. Moving over to safety, we have Honey Badger. I don't care about that 59.4 overall grade. I don't care about the 33.4 run defense. I don't care about the 47.5 tackling. I don't even care about the 76.5 coverage, and that was his strong suit. 3 pass defenses, 2 picks, 1 pick six. He went out and played. This was his first game of the season, and he went out and said, yep, I'm the best player on this Chiefs defense. Screw you, Chris Jones. Chris Jones had a weird game. Baltimore put him in a lot of bad situations, and it's hard for a interior guy playing edge to get just picked apart like Baltimore can do to edges. Honey Badger was great. The broadcast did say he should have had a 3rd interception. I would argue it was a better throw by Lamar, but hey, he could have had 3 interceptions if a ball was half an inch off. So Honey Badger, he don't care. He's in the list. I'm so happy to see Derwin James on this list. I'm so happy to be able to write Derwin James, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. Half a sack, 7 total sack tackles, 5 TFL, 5 solos and 1 TFL, 77.7 overall grade, 74.6 run defense grade, 61.5 tackling, 76.2 pass rush, 71.9 coverage. He actually graded out better last week, but I think both of my safeties last week were just unreal. Marcus Williams and Logan Ryan were just unreal. So Derwin James, congratulations. You're back. He is playing at an elite level. He is all over the field. He is one of the best athletes at any position I have ever seen, and he makes everything happen. He is just unbelievable, and I'd love to see him back out there. And then our last player, based on the production, I think you got to give him Defensive Player of the Week. We start with Offensive Player of the Week. We end with Defensive Player of the Week. Defensive back, Mike Edwards, 3 pass defenses, 2 picks, both of them going back for 6, 4 solo tackles, got a 91.4 overall PFF grade, a 55.5 in run defense, who cares, an 80.7 tackling grade, and a 92.1 in coverage. I believe that was the top of the week, maybe second to Jaylon Johnson. And, I know he's not the biggest name. I know he's really just in for some injuries that the Bucs have had, but currently would be All-Pro because 2 pick sixes in 2 games is pretty solid, and a Pro Bowl selection in the NFC. So yeah, that's there's reasonably okay. You weren't supposed to see that, but anyways, that's gonna wrap us up for the Week 2 Team of the Week. I'll be back next week to tackle Week 3's Team of the Week. Hopefully, we see some of these guys again. We may not. I didn't have any repeats from Week 1 to Week 2. I posted Week 1 on the app, and I wrote an article about it. So if you guys want to see my Week 1, you can check those. But otherwise, I'm Splash. Hope you guys have a great day, and peace.